Welcome back, traders. This is part 2 of the beginner series. And today's video, we're going to do the full settings and hopefully we'll do probably half the tabs. So in last video, if you didn't see, you can check it out. We went over the options and progress tab. Okay, in today's video, we're going to start with the full tab. So over here, what to build. You can decide on what kind of strategy you're going to build. So a simple strategy, meaning running on one symbol and one time frame. So if we go to the data, we can pick the engine and then the symbol and then the time frame. The second option is to build multi-time frame or multi-symbol strategies. So right now, if it's one, that means you have one subchart. And you can pick any other symbol. Let's say we pick the ES. The strategies will be built using both symbols, but it will trade only the oil symbol in this case. And we can test this. If we go to progress and just pick randomly whatever.
A few moments later.
And if we pick first one, go to source code, sudo, and you will see that main chart is the current symbol, current time frame. Subchart is the ES daily, that's the symbol, and daily time frame. So when the order happens, so open short order at market, blah, 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 that will happen on the main chart. And when you load that, for example, in TradeStation, so the main chart should be the, in our case, it's the current symbol, which is the oil futures, and the subchart is going to be ES daily. Now, I can make this also the same symbol. For example, let's pick the same symbol, but on a different time frame. Okay, and let's clear this. Yes. And we can pick. Okay, so now let's pick a strategy, and we will see now that the main chart and subchart, and it doesn't matter the logic, it's on both charts. So for example, you can see here long entry, blah, 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 is on the main chart, and then another logic is on the subchart, but it's trading again the main signal. Now, if we do two subcharts, obviously now we have the same thing. Now we have two. So now I can pick two oil contracts and the ES, for example. So I'm building multiple symbols, multiple time frame strategies. And again, we can test the logic. Now I changed some filters to make it faster. And so let's pick this one. It has 104 trades. Don't worry about this. Again, we're just testing the logic as usual. And so here now you can see that we have main chart, subchart 1, subchart 2, and the logic will have all of them. So for example here, bull powers changes direction downwards on main chart, and then bar opens above simple moving average main chart, and then Williams subchart 1, and then linear regression subchart 2. So as you can see, you can build multiple time frame, multiple strategy. Now you can do this for, again, same symbol. Let's I don't have a, probably, yeah. So this we have a high resolution. So when you have a high resolution, you can pick, let's say, the same one. Okay, but now let's say we're going to trade on the 15 minutes when the, let's say, 4 hours and daily. So you know how you're confirming the larger time frame with the smaller time frame, and you're trading on the smaller time frame. Let's pick this one, and again current time frame, and then 4 hours, and then daily. So you get the idea. The next option of what to build is strategy from template. I will put a link here where you can go and see how we build from template, which we used our own code, our own logic basically, and then you can use that as a template. And then you can do improve existing strategy. So for this, let me go back to simple strategy, clear all, and let's start.
12 seconds later.
So I'm gonna pick something, let's say this one. Okay, so strategy 0.16, let's save it. And now clear this. Now we will improve the strategy. So if I load the strategy 1.6 and start building, for comparison, I will load the strategy here just to see its code, because we saved it in SQX code. So this is the strategy we want to improve. I want to show you that this logic, the entry trading signals, trading signals. So it's awesome oscillator, main chart, and then same for short entry. And now if we go to the strategies that is trying to improve on it, you will see that they all have the same logic, even the losing ones. Now, of course, you might ask how it's improving and they are losing. Remember, we are not having any ranking criteria above the first one. So anything above this is considered improved. So you see the logic of entry for long and short is always the same. But what's changing is the exit. If you see this exit end of day, profit target, stop loss, these will change. You can see how these numbers are changing. And also check how the exit is changing. But we always have the same logic for entry signal. And also I want to bring your attention to do an improve existing strategy. If you go to parts to improve, so because our strategy was long only, so you can decide on add or replace this long condition. So we can add, keep existing plus generate randomly, or we can replace whatever we have, or we can add or replace. So it's either we're replacing or we're adding or one of both. Now if we had short, then it will have a short option too. The order types, it will generate randomly, and the exit rule, again, either replace or add or both. So you can decide on what to do. Basically, like I showed you, it was improving only the exit strategy because this option was off. This option was off. So that's why it was changing only the exit rules. And the reason by default is this, because you're trying to improve it. And basically that's leaving the entry logic alone and then just improve it by the exit strategy. That's much more robust than changing everything else, because if you change the entry logic, that's changing everything. Like, it makes no sense to, let's say, keep the exit after 3 bars and improve the strategy by changing the entry logic from Bollinger Band to a candle pattern. That makes no sense. Yes, that's not improving the strategy. That's completely a new strategy. But the option is there to do it. Okay? So by default, it's only to change the exit rules, and that's why we saw in the video it's all about changing the exit rule. Let's go back to simple. The additional building configuration is, this is an easy one, either build long or short strategy. And if you click the symmetry, that means whatever you build, let's say if it's above the, if the close is above the 25 simple moving average to get long, then it will be the close below the 25 moving average for short. Now, the strategy style, these are, I think, kept for compatibility purposes. And obviously, as a new subscriber to SQX or a new user, you'll always use signal style. This signal fuzzy logic, actually, let's test one.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
And you can see the conditions, 69% conditions, which translate into 3 out of 4 is correct. We have 4 conditions, QQE of main chart, blah, 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 MACD of chart is some conditions, and then MACD again, different, and then standard deviation. If 3 out of these 4 conditions is true, then this long entry condition will be true. Same goes for short. And for exit is 1 out of 1. Let's pick another one. In this case, it's 2 out of 4 conditions. In this case, 2 out of 4 to enter, 3 out of 4 to enter, 3 out of 5 to enter, 2 out of 2 to exit. So basically, you're adding, again, the fuzzy logic has no, like, why would this work? Nobody knows, yes? It's obviously some luck is involved in picking these conditions if you pick it yourself. But the way SQX does it, I guess, it's by gobbling many conditions and see which ones work. Now, that doesn't mean that the strategy is optimized. Of course, all the strategies you built, most of them are garbage, like I mentioned in the videos before. And the only way to vet a strategy is not by the how many trades or the ranking or how much money it made. It's only through the robustness testing. And that's why robustness testing is the pinnacle of any algorithmic strategy development. It's basically whatever you feed it, it has to go through the robustness testing to make sure that yes, it's not fitted, or yes, it has some edge. But again, these are just randomly picked conditions. They will work. Some of them will work and some of them will not. Now, build mode. When you pick genetic, then a new tab will pop up here. That will give you all the options how to optimize this genetic building. Basically, genetic building, it's let's say it takes 100 strategies, then it picks the best 10 out of these hundreds and isolate them in an island, and maybe it does more than one island. For example, here we have 5 islands, and then each one then develops separately, and then it picks the best. I wouldn't say it's too complicated. It is a complicated subject, but you can delve into it, although I never did, and I usually go with the default here. But you can definitely, the options is there to further do it. The only thing I want to bring your attention to is that you can filter out the genetics already here instead of the ranking. Not instead. Like it's a, let's say it's a first let's go here. So this is the, if it doesn't have 1,000 trades, for example, in this case, then forget this island in total. And then once that's developed, then it will go and look for these conditions. So just keep that in mind. And as I said, you can read, there are many books on the subject to help you with further optimize this tab. Let's go back to random. Now, number of conditions and periods. This is globally. So globally, you can allow 4 to 8. This is because we are in fuzzy logic. Yes, that's why it's high. So for example, if you go to a trend following, now you will see this has changed from 1 to 2. Like I said before, so the more conditions you add, the higher the chance that the strategy will not pass robustness testing. And the less conditions you have, if you have 1, then that's the best, obviously. Okay, so 1 to 2 is very acceptable, 1 to 2 for exits. And then the global indicator periods. Now, although that's set here, but you can play with this. Let's take trend following here, for example. If you want to build long-term trend following, for example, when the 100-day moving average cross the 300-day moving average, then you should start this from 100 to 500, or even you can start, let's say, at 90. So that's the global indicators period. And the look back, this is the shift. And I'd like to keep this to minimum. Okay, either 1 or 2 maximum. 3, I think it's too much. This, what this will do, and let's put this again to 50 to 100. And let's build some strategies.
Much later.
And so you'll see here, this is the shift. You see, for example, here value shift by 1, price close shift by 1. And that number comes from this condition. So because I put it to 1, no strategy will have a shift more than 1. Stop loss. Here you can decide if it's required or not. If it's not required, that doesn't mean it's not going to be used. So it can be used, but it's not required. So some strategies will have it and some don't. If you click it's required, then it will be in every strategy. Now you can decide if it's in pips, that's for the currency traders, and it will be treated even in futures as ticks. So for example, let's say we want it, and let's fix it to 100. And let's do a test. Let's clear all this. Start. So you can see now stop loss is 100. So if we go to the list of trades and results, it will tell you the exit, the close type. And so for example, this profit, this is a stop loss. So you can see the entry price is 32.15 and the exit price is 31.15. That's 100 ticks. And again, here is stop loss. Entry is 31.97, exit 30.97. And we have another stop loss, 30.53, 29.54. That's 1 penny different. And another stop loss, 32.31. Another one, 32.92. 31.75. That's different. Why this will happen? Because there will be a gap the next day at the open where it is more than 100 pips. So stop loss again, 33.67, 32.68, and you get the idea.
A lot of boring math later.
If we do it in ATR based, you know the ATR is the average true range, and then you can change, you can say it's from 1.5 ATR to 3 ATR of how many bars back, this 20 bars back. So let's test that again and clear all. Now I do this to make you comfortable. I want you to be comfortable with the software and test everything so you get a feel of what it can do and be able to customize it to your liking. Don't be afraid to click on things and try things. Again, here we will see in the list of trades, we will see the exit. So for example here, the exit type. Okay, if we go to the list of trades, you can see that in the close type is exit after X bar, and this is a stop loss. So this is not the 100 ticks. Yes, this is 32.29, and the code, you will see that the stop loss is stop loss coefficient times ATR 20. And this guy will be defined here in the inputs. So for example, here is 2.6. So 2.6 times ATR. You can see another one, coefficient times 20, and the coefficient here is 1.5. So you get the idea. And then you can use an indicator level. And this will be any indicator. And as you said here, you can see here, for example, Bollinger Band 20 plus 1.5 times ATR, or EMA 75 plus ATR, 1 times ATR of 3 bars ago. Okay, and you can use all of them. Let's save and let's get crazy and build this. And remember, we only chose long, but look at this now. So stop loss level this is an indicator, Heiken Ashi, plus some ATR coefficient, and then this one, stop loss is Ichimoku, again an indicator, and this one stop loss in pips. This one a indicator, and this is an ATR. So you see it's a mix of all of them. Now profit target is the same, but it's the opposite side, yes? The only difference here is, first of all, you can pick the same ranges from the stop loss. So to make it, and let's say as a symmetry, if you're exiting, if your stop loss is 100 pips, and then your profit targets will be 100 pips, and same goes for everything. If you don't click this, then you can adjust it as you like. So the last option, which is limit risk reward, is supposed to limit the profit. So profit target will be from a percentage from the stop loss. If you used fixed pips, then it will use the same one. But if it's an ATR base or an indicator base, then it will use something between this range. I found it too complicated, and I frankly never succeeded in using this. So I'll leave it up to you to try it out. So now that this tab is done, let me get back to simple strategy.
Epilogue.
So we enter into data, and I think the video is too long already, so I'm going to leave this to part 3 of the video. As usual, I hope this was informative to you, and we'll see you soon in the next video.